Hello.
Good morning,
Hi.
everybody. I see that we've got quite a few people logged in. So we've got students from Turin, Bologna, Teramo, Naples, Rome. Welcome, everybody. My name is Terry.
Florence, look at that.
Woohoo! Yay!
Hey.
My name
Good
is
morning,
Terry.
everyone.
I'm from Seattle in the United States. Welcome to today's lecture on architecture. My co-teacher is Jane. Introduce yourself. We're having a little difficulty hearing each other this morning, so this is going to be interesting, guys. All right, Jane, do you want to introduce yourself?
Look at that. From all over Italy. Fantastic.
Excellent.
Yeah, wonderful.
Okay, so I'm going to remove that. Let's just dive right in. So architecture. Tell me, everyone, when you think of architecture here in Italy, what comes to mind? Any specific buildings, any specific monuments? So over here in comments, tell us about your favorite places, architectural places, okay? Now, something you should all know, there is a little bit of lag time from when you write and send your comments to when they arrive to us. So go ahead and send them anyway. And here we go. Maybe. All right. So architecture. In this focus activity, describing architecture, passives, and presenting a structure. Okay. Oh, the Colosseum, absolutely. One of the most amazing architectural, it's astounding. All
How
right.
about architecture from Florence? I saw somebody, Valentina. You have any architecture you want to talk about from Florence?
Okay, so
Okay.
Question one. Skyscrapers, absolutely. Thank you, Alessandro. Let's see. Do you prefer modern architecture or older styles?
I prefer older architecture. And you, Terry? What do you prefer?
I definitely prefer older styles. The architecture here in Italy is astounding. It's not like anything we have in America. I agree with Jane.
So is there anything in particular that you love in Florence, Terry? A piece of architecture that you find interesting or amazing?
For me, the Loggia in Piazza della Signoria is absolutely astounding. The columns, the balcony, the terrace above it, actually. But more than that, I think that some of the buildings in Rome, I just love Rome. What about you?
You love Rome, huh?
Absolutely.
For example, is there a antique building in Rome that you find interesting or amazing?
I find the entire structure of the garden in the Forum, where you can see the truly ancient attempts and the truly ancient buildings that are in ruins now, and those right next to structures that are still standing after 1,000 years, and then right next to that, something that's completely modern. The entire city is just an architectural wonder. Do you have a favorite place in the world, Jane, for architecture?
Excuse me?
Do you have a favorite place in the world for architecture?
Mm-hmm. So I would like to know, Terry, has anything been built or renovated in your city recently? So this would be Florence, yes? This would be
Yes,
Florence. Do you know of anything that has been built or renovated in Florence recently?
everything, everything. Um, you can't go down one street in Florence without seeing something under renovation. Um, the Duomo, for example, a part of the Duomo is always being not necessarily renovated, but cleaned and repaired. But
Yes,
there,
it's true. Parts of the Duomo, the dome, have been cleaned. They do different pieces at a time. Very interesting. Anything else that you can think of? Something that has been built recently? Hmm.
perhaps the tramvia.
Okay.
Now, the
Okay.
tramvia is not a building, but absolutely, it affected a lot of the buildings.
Interesting. Yes, it's true. How about, is there anybody out there that from a different city, for example, Palermo, Isabella, anything that has been built or renovated recently in Palermo? Let us
Excellent.
know. Everybody that's online, if you have a post, if you know of anything that has been built or renovated in your city, we would love to know.
Now, Jane,
Yes.
have you visited any famous buildings?
Have I visited anything?
Any famous buildings?
Any new buildings?
Any question three? Any famous buildings?
Oh, yes. In Florence, I've visited many famous buildings.
Which
Um, well, my favorite building in Florence is the Uffizi. It's a
hmm,
very famous museum now that was originally the offices for the government in Florence. And recently, the new Justice Palace was built in Novoli recently. And it's a very modern building.
in- extremely modern. Extremely modern. I recently, just last weekend, went to visit Palazzo Vecchio. I went and spent the entire afternoon in Palazzo Vecchio. The green room, the small chapels, it's from
Mhm.
outside structurally it's amazing, but inside it's just I can't even describe. Each room has its own character, its own personality, and
Yeah.
that's something that I find missing in modern architecture.
Okay. I'm seeing here, Terry, that many people have answered us. And we've got the arena in Verona. Cinzia, thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Isabella, you have done a good job. In Palermo, there are many monuments renovated. For example, Palazzo Abatelis, but in 1954, restoration by Carlo Scarpa. It is amazing. Isabella, thank you so much. Fantastic. Well done. I've got Mauma Creations, and they said, I visited a new building in Rome, Ara Pacis. I've seen it. Beautiful. Has anybody else seen the Ara Pacis? Have you seen that, Terry? It's kind of amazing. It's in Rome.
I went to Rome just 2 months ago, but I don't remember seeing it.
It's a must see for you, Terry. It's
Then
also
I will.
very interesting, very antique, and it's an amazing piece of modern architecture, which encloses an ancient monument. So something really special. I
I
agree.
I will put it on my list. I will put it on my list. So, Jane, what is your favorite building or structure
In Rome,
anywhere in the world?
oh, I have to tell you, it's more of a piazza for me. I love Campo dei Fiori, and for me, it's a very special place. So it's many little buildings. The piazza itself is fantastic. But I think probably the Arapacis for me, as far as one single thing to see in Rome, is extraordinary, excuse me. I really like that. And in Rome, Terry, what else did you think was really amazing?
Oh, everything. But I really want to hear your description of this Arapacis because I've not seen it. Can you describe it for me?
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, Terry, to describe your favorite building or structure in Rome. So tell me, out of the ones that you have told me now, can you describe for me that structure in detail?
So there is, what is it called? You arrive to, my mind is a blank on the name, but you will all know what it is when I describe it. You arrive to the piazza, a very round piazza, and in the front, there is a very ancient building, and on top, you have the statues of the horses and the carriage with the drivers of these chariots. It's a government building, and with the tall columns and the white marble and the statuary on top that you can see even at night, right in the center of the piazza. It's just amazing. It's something everyone has to see.
Okay, thank you. That was fantastic. I really appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to also describe to you, Terry, one of my favorite buildings. I think, should I choose Florence or Rome? What do you think, Terry?
Florence.
Florence. Okay, I'm thinking. All right, I'm going to describe, I guess I'm going to describe the Uffizi. Okay, so the Uffizi has different columns outside, and you enter underneath a doorway, a large arched doorway. Okay, and inside you will go to the first floor where the old offices used to be. And there you will find different rooms, one attached to the next, with different areas with different types of artwork, famous, mostly between 1250 and 1600. They're actually very interesting. From the Uffizi, there is a gallery that takes you, a secret gallery that goes from the Uffizi all the way to Palazzo Pitti, and it's called the Vasarian Corridor. The hallway.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite fascinating. That's about it for the Uffizi.
All right. Let's go on to our next slide. and talk about the passive tense. So, Jane,
I'm sorry. How about the Vissarian passage?
Let's go on. We're having a little trouble hearing each other, but
yes, we're having a little difficulty with the audio, so everybody just be patient with us. It's on my part. I'm having trouble with the audio.
So let's
go on to the next slide, Terry. That would be great.
Talking about the passive. So, do you want to read or shall I? Okay, so we're looking for passives in the text. And what passive tense are they? So, a unique commercial skyscraper is located at 20 Fenchurch Street in London's financial district. It was nicknamed the walkie-talkie because of its shape, but a few years ago, it earned a different nickname. It was discovered that when sunlight shines onto the concave mirrored facade, it is reflected directly onto streets below the building. Temperatures as high as 70 degrees centigrade have been observed during the summer, and properties along the street, as well as a parked car, have been damaged. After these events, the building was given the nicknames Walkie-Scorchy and Fryscraper. In 2015, it was awarded the Carbuncle Cup for the worst new building in the UK. Can you help me find the passives? So, Isabella says, in my opinion, the structure that contains autopods is a contemporary project. Very good, Isabella. All right, so let's look at this. Help me find the passives. How do we make good, Beatrice, was discovered, was given, good, is located,
Everybody needs to get off.
All right, so the first one was nicknamed. Was nicknamed. Is that past passive, past simple passive? Is that present simple passive?
Is Leo on?
I don't think so.
Okay, so all right.
Hi, Terry. Did you go on to the next slide? Because I'm just seeing the slide number 3. Are you on a different slide now?
All right. To be plus the verb in the past. Excellent. That is correct, Valentina. Okay, so was nicknamed. The next one, what is the next passive? Present simple, past simple. What is our next passive? Was discovered. Okay, was discovered. So for the present simple passive is are plus the participle. For the past simple passive was were plus participle. Sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time, everybody. I am just not that coordinated. I apologize. Okay, so the next passive, it is reflected. Remember that when we make the passive, we take the object becomes the subject followed by the passive tense, okay? The passive structure. So the next one, temperatures as high as 70 degrees centigrade have been observed. Now that's not a simple passive. What tense is that? Can anyone tell me? All right, just waiting to get some of your feedback. I've given you the past simple passive structure, the present simple passive structure. What is have been observed? Have been damaged. Okay. Yes, Isabella, you win. Present perfect passive. All right. All right. Was given the nicknames and was awarded. Again, going back to that past simple passive. Good work, Isabella. Okay. So going on to how are passives formed. Okay. So I think here we can clear up just a little bit of the questions between present perfect passive, past perfect passive. So let's take a look, shall we? Subject plus to be plus the past participle. Okay. For example, the walkie-talkie was awarded the Carbuncle Cup. Now, you can see was, were, plus the past participle is past simple passive. That's not easy to say. All right. Now, I want your help. Okay? I'm going to read these sentences for you, but what I'd like for you to do is just over on your chat, write 1 and the past simple passive, 2 and the present perfect passive. You can see the verb you need to conjugate in the parentheses in the sentences. All right, so I'm going to read these slowly to give all of you a chance to respond. All right, so remember, there's also one here that's a negative, so be careful with that. All right, so the Sydney Opera House in 1973. Number 2, many of Italy's historic buildings to the UNESCO World Heritage Sites list. Present perfect passive. 3, the Eiffel Tower in 1999, past simple passive. Oh, 2 negatives. Sorry, also number 4. The Pyramid of Giza, a theme park. Present perfect passive. The Empire State Building as an antenna to contact aliens. Present simple passive. All right. So number 1, I've got some responses. Was opened. Absolutely correct. Well done. How about number 2? Many of Italy's historic buildings. Remember, present perfect passive. What is our structure? What is our structure for present perfect passive? Have been added. All right. Well done. Okay, good. How about number 3? Remember, this is going to be a past simple passive and negative. Past simple and negative. So how do we do that? Wasn't built. You guys are on fire today. All right. The Pyramid of Giza, again, negative, present perfect, passive. Good, Beatrice. Excellent, Cinzia. Fabulous. All right. So number 4, Pyramid of Giza, negative, present perfect, passive, and it's a phrasal verb, turn into. All right, so I'm waiting to see some of your answers. Present perfect, passive, negative, phrasal verb. Can anybody get this one? Bonus points if you can get this one. Haven't been turned into, almost, Beatrice. Third person, remember, have, not the third person, has not been turned into. Excellent. Now let's make that a contraction. Hasn't been turned into. Excellent work, Ivano. All right, number 5. Number 5, the Empire State Building. Excellent. Good, everybody. The Empire State Building as an antenna to contact aliens. Negative, but present simple passive. Back to the present simple passive. Okay. Present simple passive. What's our structure? And negative, at least it's not a phrasal verb this time. Okay. So, hasn't been used. Now that's present perfect passive. Make this present simple passive. That's wasn't used. Past simple passive. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of past simple passive. What's our structure for present simple passive? Not was, but now isn't used. Remember, is, are. Excellent, Cinzia. Okay, good. So, another paragraph. We're going to find the passives in this text, okay? So, for pronunciation, I'll read this to you. And pardon me, but I have no idea the pronunciation of Japanese words, so this might be funny. The Cho Shinkansen rail line will be built between the 2 major Japanese cities, Tokyo and Nagoya. The trains are expected to reach speeds of 505 kilometers per hour, which means a distance of 286 kilometers, can be covered in only 40 minutes. The train's speed is increased through the use of magnets, which reduce friction. Originally, this new rail system was projected to cost 40.6 billion euro. But because of the need to dig so many underground tunnels, the designers now say the project will be completed at a cost of 71.8 billion euro. All right. Again, looking for passives, but now it's not only past simple passive, present simple passive. We have some different passives in here. So as I read again, use the chat bar to tell me what passives you see and what passive tense it is, okay? So the Cho Shinkansen rail line will be built between the 2 major Japanese cities, Tokyo and Nagoya. The trains are expected to reach speeds of 505 kilometers per hour, which means a distance of 286 kilometers can be covered in only 40 minutes. The train's speed is increased through the use of magnets, which reduce friction. Originally, The new rail system was projected to cost 40.6 billion euro, but because of the need to dig so many underground tunnels, the designers now say the project will be completed at a cost of 71.8 billion euro. I'm not seeing any comments yet. Where is everybody? All right, so let's take a look, shall we? Some different passives. The first, will be built. Will be built is the future passive. So it's going to be will plus be plus the participle. Okay? The next passive, are expected. Again, returning back to that present simple passive. Future passive, excellent, Ivano, good. Are expected. Present simple passive. Can be covered. Can be covered. What is that? What kind of passive is can be covered? I'll come back to it in a minute, but I'm hoping some of you can tell me in the chat bar. All right. Is increased. The train's speed is increased. Again, simple, present simple passive. Modal passive, Andrea. Excellent. Way to go. Can be covered. Beatrice, modal passive. Perfect. All right. So, can be covered. A modal passive, like a future passive will be built. Modal passive, modal plus be plus the participle. Excellent work, everybody. All right. Originally, the new rail system was projected. Again, that past simple passive, right? Very familiar with that one now. And will be completed. Again, the future passive. All right? So as we go along to the next slide, what I'd like for you to do is to create a passive sentence. Right there in the chat bar, any passive sentence you would like. Think about some of the architectural sites we've been talking about, an architectural site from your own city even, but choose one of these passive tenses or a couple of passive tenses and give us some sentences, all right? So the future track, or the fast track, how are future and modal passives formed? So future modal passive, subject plus modal, to be plus past participle, okay? Example, the rail line should be completed by 2037. So should, passive, modal, can, could, shouldn't, can't, couldn't, might, may, have to. Boy, how many modals can you think of? All right. So, question number 1, and give me your answers with the modal passive. Ought to. Good work, Valentina. All right. Do you think the trains will be used by many people? So, how do you answer that in a passive? Obviously, we're going to use the future passive. The question is in future passive, so why would we change it? Okay. For now, future passive. Do you think the trains will be used by many people? Making the object the subject. No, we don't even have to. The trains will be used by many people. The trains will be used by citizens of Japan as well as tourists and visitors. All right. Question 2. What kind of passive is this question? What safety precautions have to be taken by the engineers? What safety precautions have to be taken by the engineers? What kind of passive is that? That is a modal passive, have to be taken. Now, we can answer this with a future passive if we want to. The engineers will have to, no, we can't, sorry. Really tired this morning. So, safety precautions, good, modal passive Antonella, thank you. Safety precautions have to be taken, in order to prevent accident or injury. Okay, how about question 3? Can you think of any services or features that could be offered to make the travel experience more exciting and comfortable? What kind of passive question is number 3? What kind of passive is number 3? Can you think of any services or features that could be offered? If you guessed modal passive, you would be correct. And number 4, do you think the focus on transportation methods in the future should be more on trains or planes? And why? So I would like you to answer question 4 if you can, all right? Just give me a little shout out there on the chat bar. And what do you think the answer to number 4 should be? Use a passive in your answer, okay? So, do you think the trains will be used by many people? I think that the trains will be used by millions of people in the coming years. What safety precautions have to be taken by the engineers? I think that a variety of safety precautions have to be taken in order to ensure safety for the passengers. Question 3, can you think of any services or features that could be offered to make the travel experience more exciting and comfortable? Oh yes, I think that some special services could be offered, and these should include a glass of Prosecco when I sit down in my seat, perhaps seat belts, and maybe onboard movies. All right, they must be taken. Helmet. Okay, good. So you think a helmet, should the passengers wear helmets? All right. Do you think that transportation methods in the future should be more on trains or on planes? That's a really good question. So still waiting for some of your responses to that, but as I wait, we're going to go on to the next slide. All right, so help me out here, okay? We're going to match words to the definitions. All right, a little bit of architecture vocabulary. So, work in progress, to demolish, skyline, masterpiece, an eyesore, and to renovate. Okay, now potential definitions: to destroy something, to restore something or make it new again, not yet finished, a person's greatest work, unpleasant to look at, and the profile of buildings against the sky. All right, so a work in progress. Work in progress, what is the definition? Again, use the chat bar over there and help me to hook up the word to its correct definition. So a work in progress. And because of that lag time from when you write and it arrives to me, if you know the answer to something ahead, skyline, masterpiece, for an example, go ahead and write that over in the chat bar. So a work in progress. Something not yet finished. Jane, you're back.
Yay!
Can you hear me?
Sorry. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Thank you. All right.
Thank you so much for the patience.
Welcome back. All right. So we're just doing a little bit of architecture vocabulary. And I've asked students to help us out by putting over in the chat bar anything that they can match the word to the definition. So to demolish, Jane, can you help me out? What does demolish mean?
Oh, I think it means to destroy, doesn't it? What do you think?
I think it does. Can you think of anything that has been demolished?
Oh. I'm thinking. In Florence, what has been demolished in Florence?
What in the world? I can't think. Wait, my boyfriend is an architect, dear. Can you think of any? Can you think of any buildings that have been demolished recently?
Where?
Anywhere.
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 The bridge in Genoa.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
But it was destroyed, not demolished.
The rest was demolished.
Okay, good point. So the bridge in Denver collapsed, and with the part that remains standing had to be demolished.
Was demolished. Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. All right. Now, let's not give them the definition to skyline, but can you describe a skyline for me? Any city in the world, what skyline?
Absolutely. Well, so I was standing in Brooklyn and I was looking over the river and I could see all the buildings in Manhattan, and the sun was setting, and it was absolutely stunning. The outline of all the buildings, the skyline.
Excellent. Isabella just gave us the correct answer, and Antonella, and very good, everybody. Wait, Valentina, excellent, everybody. All right, a masterpiece. Sorry, but I'm going to take this one because everyone talks about Michelangelo's masterpieces, but my favorite museum in the entire world is the Cappella di Medici here in Florence. It's tiny. It's a very small museum, but when you go upstairs, there's a very small room with these 4 statues created by Michelangelo that are not as well known as others, but to me, they are truly his masterpieces. There is the one of dawn and dusk that I just, even after being in the museum 10 times, I still am overwhelmed.
Yeah. Wonderful. Absolutely.
So what is a masterpiece? Anybody?
Oh, Antonella, you got it. Antonella, you got it.
Excellent. All right. Now, how about an eyesore? What is an eyesore?
What is an eyesore. Oh, you know, many people in Florence think the new Justice Palace is an eyesore.
I agree.
Hmm? You agree?
I
Okay,
agree.
good. All right, so many people think it's an eyesore.
Well,
Hmm?
when I drive by it, when I drive in Florence, there are so many buildings. I can't, it's hard to drive because I want to look at everything. But when I pass the Justice Building,
Mhm.
I can watch the road because I just don't like to look at it. So what is the meaning of
Yeah, okay. Hey, great, Young Jin. Nice. Nice.
All
Okay,
right.
Isabella, you too. Antonella, great, fantastic.
All right. So one more, to renovate. Well, we only have one definition that remains. So to restore something or make it new again. Can you think of any buildings that have recently been renovated?
Hmm.
Well, the Duomo is always in a
Something, yeah.
state of renovation.
Yeah, that's true. But that's more, I think that's more cleaning. So
Is it?
renovating is, let's think of a building that's been renovated because, hmm, in Florence, I don't think many buildings, unless I'm just not aware of it. Oh, they renovated a couple of years ago the l'Opera del Duomo, the museum for the Duomo. That was renovated.
Oh, the museum existed before and they renovated.
Yeah, but this was about 10 years ago.
Well, I've only been here for 5.5.
It's not.
All right.
Something else that's been renovated in Florence. I think more newer buildings, a lot of the older buildings, I don't think have been renovated. Hey, Seamus, I love what you wrote there. I love the Justice Palace. Reminds me of Gotham City. Fantastic. Thank you, Seamus.
Fabulous. All right, so we've just got about 2 minutes left on our time together. So I want to make sure that we understand some of the structures of the passives. So Jane, what is the structure of present simple passive?
I think it's the is or am plus the past participle.
Excellent. All right, so
Thank you.
was, okay, past simple was, were with the participle.
Was, were. Yeah.
Present
Absolutely.
Present perfect passive.
Has or have plus past participle.
Oh, we're missing something.
You asked me for present perfect passive.
Exactly. Have or has been plus the participle.
Very good. Thank you.
I did the same thing before. All right. Past perfect passive. Past perfect
is it had been past participle.
All right. Future passive, will plus be plus participle. And the modal passive, modal passive.
Could or should. Okay. Could or should. Plus be plus have been plus participle.
So the modal plus be plus the participle could have been. That's the modal passive.
Past participle.
Could be seen. The building could be seen from far.
Yep.
All right.
Plus past participle.
All right.
We got it. We got it.
All right. So, all of you out there, the next webinar is going to begin in about 10 minutes, also for your level. We're going to be talking about Career Day, describing a job, workplace language, and using foreign sense if you'd like to join us. But for now, we're going to take a little break. See you again.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.